Christopher Schlegel here. I have an exercise using minor chords, they're triads and inversions, that's similar to the video I did using the major chords. We're going to use 3 chords, or 4 if you count the little modulation I'll do later on, but we're going to use 3 minor chords, A minor, D minor, and E minor. We're going to start there, and we're going to only use 3 shapes on 3 strings and cover the fretboard with chord voicings to see how we can do it in a really melodic way that helps you visualize the fretboard and to make it easier to visualize maybe some of the notes that are from those chords and what scales they actually use, okay? So let's start with this shape right here. I'm going to start with this A minor chord shape, and it's part of the A minor open chord, okay? But we're not going to use the open strings, okay? We're just going to use the D, G, and B string. So I've got the note E, 2nd fret of the E, D string, the note A, 2nd fret of the G string, and the note C, 1st fret of the B string. I've got an A minor chord in 2nd inversion because that's 5, 1, and 3, minor 3 from the A minor scale, okay? And I'm going to move from that to this shape. This is a D minor chord in 1st inversion because I've got an F, 3rd fret, an A, again, 2nd fret of the G string, and then over here on the 3rd fret of the B string, I've got the note D. F, A, and D. So it's a 1st inversion D minor chord. I'm going to take that shape and move it up 2 frets. Now I have a G, B, and E. So it's a 1st inversion E minor chord, okay? So I've got 3 chords now, okay, but only 2 shapes. I've got this A minor and then this D minor and E minor, okay? Now, here's my 3rd shape. Throw at you. This A is on the 7th fret, and then I'm going to bar across the 5th fret for C and E. And this is the middle of a A minor bar chord, right? But it's still just a root position A minor chord, okay? So now I've got 3 shapes. I've got a 2nd inversion shape, a 1st inversion shape I'm using twice, and then a root position shape, okay? But notice that what I've done is I've got close voice motion. Instead of moving these chords all over the neck, using bar chords, or instead of using them as open chords, these shapes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move every voice up in close voice motion. Right? Each chord only has a couple of notes that move 1 or 2 frets. Sometimes I even have common tones, right? So it's very close voice motion, right? And it's a really neat melodic way of voicing the chords. Okay, I'm going to continue up. I'm going to go back to my 2nd inversion shape that I used down here for my A minor, but now I'm playing in D minor. So I go from this A minor, right, in root position, to this 7, 7, and 6. So I've got a 2nd inversion D minor triad, okay? Then I take that shape up 2 frets and I have an E minor in 2nd inversion. Then I can take that and go up here to 10, 9, and 10, and I have a E minor to A minor voicing. Okay, now I'm at A minor in 1st inversion, okay? Notice that that's very similar to, it's exactly the same shape as the 1st inversion chords I was doing down here, but I'm up here at A, okay? Then I'm going to go up to D minor like this, 12, 10, 10. That's part of a bar chord, a D minor chord, right? D, F, and A. And then I can take that shape and move it up 2 frets to E, G, and B. Okay, and I've got an E minor, and that brings me all the way up an octave higher to E, A, and C. This A minor shape, this 2nd inversion, all the way up here, okay? Now I've got a way to connect these 3 chords with 3 shapes on these 3 strings, like this. A minor, D minor, and E minor. A minor, D minor, and E minor. A minor, D minor, and E minor. And A minor. Okay, I can go down. I can use these shapes to use an entire melodic arc going down continually from A minor to D, E minor to D minor, A minor to D minor, E minor to D minor, A minor to E minor to D minor, A minor, right? This is a great exercise that I encourage students to do, to play, to visualize, to hear what these chord voicings sound like when they're played as close voice motions, right? To give them a little bit more of a melodic context or a musical context, what you can do is arpeggiate them. Because arpeggiating them, number one, it helps because you spend more time just picking them and you don't have to move as much with your fretting hand right away. And it also really helps your ear get used to hearing each one of those voices and how they move from one chord to the next. The A to the D to the E, right? And then A to D to E, A, D to E, and then down. Move from one chord to the next, okay? And I'm only using 3 shapes. I've got my second inversion chord shape here, here, and here, and I've got my first inversion shape here, here, and here, and I've got my root position chord here shape here, here, and here, okay? But by connecting them all melodically as I go up or down, it really helps to show how they're all connected across the fretboard, right? It can also help you to see how scales or key signatures are structured around chords, and that can help you to understand how to play leads to target chord tones a little bit better, because if you're playing an A minor here and a D minor and an E minor, right, then you can see how the A minor scale, those 3 chords are from 1, 4, 5 from an A minor scale, and you can see how the 5, 6, 7, 5, minor 6, minor 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is all right there under your fingers. So you've got these, right? All these notes are right there, okay? And if you're playing those particular chords, then it can help to be able to visualize and target whatever chord is happening at the time, because soloing a lot of times comes down to being able to play a melody that targets chord tones, right? So if you know the chords are going from A to D to E, you can use that pattern, you can use that visual reference guide to play, right? Land on that, because that's part of the E minor chord. If you're up in the next position, you can say, take those, all those notes, put them together. You can see this is part of the scale here, right? So that you can say, okay, well, I'm playing A to D to E, so maybe I can play those notes because that's part of the chords as they happen, right? Same thing up here. You're playing A minor up to D to E, so you can play, say, maybe you're playing here, and right, you can play through those and say, start here. See which chord you're supposed to be landing on and target it with that particular pattern, right? The whole idea here is that it's a better way to be able to visualize how all these shapes are connected so that you can use them in rhythm guitar or lead guitar, either way, okay? Another thing I want to throw in here is that we can play this A minor to this D minor to this E minor, but a lot of times you use an E major chord because that modulation, that altered scale, right, that leading tone of the harmonic minor leads from E major to A minor, okay? And that's a really neat thing to be able to visualize too. You can play the A minor to the E minor to the E major, right? You can see that that third gets changed to an E major going to the A. Same thing up here, A minor to D minor. Instead of E minor, you're looking at E major. There's the G sharp that goes to A, right? And then up here, A minor, D minor, and then E minor or E major, right? There's your scale degree there, right? So that you can use that as well when you're playing through these scales. You can, right? Instead of that, you can start with this, right? You can see there's the G sharp that you need to play. Next one, right? You can, for example, play, right? You can see where that chord tone is that you need to land on if you're used to these particular little shapes and how they're interconnected across the fretboard, okay? So, minor chords are triads and inversions. Give them a try, have some fun with them, play some guitar.